Welcome back. So Michael Beasley and Dante West teamed up for a new podcast called Shut Up and Dribble. So they're promising to speak on everything from the league to real life. As we know, Dante West had struggled with some homelessness, addiction, mental health issues. So since we're on the topic of turning your life around and then seeing people enter new spaces, Maurice, what's your opinion on this duo?
Yeah, I thought two things of it. The first one, I thought it's going to be funny, but in a good way. Not like funny, like laugh at him. I think Michael Beasley is entertaining when he tells stories. I think that he's so politically incorrect and raw with telling stuff. It's like when you're in the hood, listen to somebody tell stories. They'll tell you some crazy shit, and it's funny in like a hood way. And I think that's what I see when Michael Beasley talking to people and answering questions and talk about his personal life. But on another note, I also think that he's so raw with how he operates. I think even with Dante West, he may open up to somebody like Michael Beasley versus, you know, various people who try to come in his life and talk to him. And it may be therapeutic for Dante West. You know, everybody's seen over the last, you know, I guess 10 years now, or however long he's been on the streets, people, you know, showing social media videos of him. And everybody kind of seen me struggle with drugs, but for him to have 100 days sober, that's good. But then even for him to sit down with somebody who he may think is his peer that played basketball, but also somebody who had personal issues and, you know, kind of navigated them and he just in a better space, I think that may be helpful. You know, just talking about your life and talking about what's going on is helpful in 1,000 different ways. You know, I'll say that, you know, like I remember Cam was talking about Mace when he said Mace does music, but he might do it from a therapeutic standpoint. That may be true. So I think other people need spaces to, you know, just share their thoughts, share their feelings, and this may be a platform for them to do so.
Yeah, listen, man. I've seen Michael Beasley very raw and uncut, like Mo just said. I actually just seen an interview with Shannon Sharp where he actually broke down and started crying as well and was talking about the death of his family, and that shit was really an emotional interview, man. And I'm like, yo, that's fucked up, man. He was explaining how they had the wrong shorts on in one game. They showed the clip, and I'm like, I remember that game. People thought he was bugging. But he was actually going through something, and I was watching that. I was like, I fuck with Michael Beasley. I always did, but I was like, you know, it's tough to sit there and let yourself go, pause, so to speak, in front of a stranger. You know, I'm not saying he don't know Shannon Sharp, but obviously when you do stuff like that, to me, you can't talk to people you know about it. And that shit is sitting inside you for so long that one day it's going to explode because you want to just get it out on how you pause or how you really feel about what's going on. And definitely your family was his mom, his cousin, whoever it was. I thought it's cool. And then on the other side of that, I think he's super entertaining. When he was playing basketball in the 3-on-3, he was telling niggas, yeah, I'm gonna fuck you tonight. And I'm like, yo, what kind of, I don't know if I wanna play basketball with a nigga like that. He said, get up here so I can dig all in your ass. I'm like, what? That's a hell of a mind fuck game to be playing with a nigga before the basketball game start, my nigga. You kinda wild. I don't know if I'm gonna play that game. So I do think that he's gonna be uncut and honest. So that's Michael Beasley, and then we do see how Dante West has been struggling. I don't know if it's drugs or liquor or mental health illness or whatever it is, but we've seen him struggling. And then I seen a post saying he's 100 days sober, which is a big deal. So that's great for him. And I don't know if I want to necessarily hear everything Dante West been through. I think people would like to hear it, but until they hear certain things, it'll be definitely interesting. The reason I say this, right? I had a homegirl, and you wouldn't even know it. She used to smoke crack and take meth. She's white. And
I'm sorry.
Nah,
That's I'm just like y'all, I'm sorry. It's just a little silly day for me.
What?
That was just like not a normal sentence. It was a lot. Sorry.
Go ahead, man. Come on.
This is a new life for me, guys.
You know why? Because the reason I lamented she was white, because when you think of crackheads, you think of urban black Spanish. Like, yo, look at them fucking niggery crackheads. You think they don't say niggery, but you think crackheads is mostly black. It's white crackheads too. So, and she was a functional crackhead. You wouldn't even know she smoked crack. She smoked crack by accident. And then that's how crack is. You can't even smoke it by accident, you know? And got hooked. But she got off of it. She was clean. And we was all chilling one day. Like, not no crack house or nothing, in a good environment. I'll just tell you, dead eyes, we was in a restaurant. And I wish I could tell the whole story, like people's name, because my homegirl was cool. Make a long story short, let me just fast forward to what I have to say. She was like, yo, I gotta get ready, get out of here. I gotta go to a meeting. I'm like, what kind of meeting you going to? She like, that's where I found out all the crack and everything. And she was like, well, one of these meetings. So it's like a Alcohol Anonymous for drug addicts. And she's like, I gotta go. I was like, can I go? She's like, you serious? I said, yeah, I want to sit in that shit. She said, yo, Cam, it's dark. That's how white people do. Yo, it's really dark in there. I'm telling you that now. And I'm like, all right. She's like, it's on you. That shit was darker than I thought. Yo, Phil, you go in there. The shit these people do that's on drugs, yo, my nigga, it ain't even just in the movies. It's worse, my nigga. Yo, they eating ass paws. They selling, yo, fam, this shit. I left the meeting. I left out about 15 minutes into it. I said, yo, I gotta get out. She said, yeah, I told you I gotta stay. So I don't do it. Like, she really had to stay. But I don't know how far, the reason I'm mentioning all that, I don't know how far Delonte West story's gonna go. Is this just dark? Because I'm telling you now, that 15 minutes in that one meeting that I went to, that was Dark Vader dark. That shit was dark, my nigga. So I don't know if I want to hear everything Delonte West has to say. They keep it basketball and a little bit of drugs. I'll tune in. I don't want to go too deep. Pause.
That's what it'll take. Okay, one more turning your life around type of situation that we got here. So Adrien Broner and Dean the Great have been streaming together, not twitching, streaming, because it's on Kick.
So they've been kicking. They've been kicking it. They've been kicking.
Maybe I'll catch on one day. I'm not there yet. But there's a lot of varying opinions regarding the content.
You ever see somebody like, together. Yo, that dress ain't dressing?
I do say that. You're right. No, you're right.
I made that slogan up. I started that. I did.
Ain't dressing.
I did that whole shit. Like, get the computers shooting, boosters boost, and all that. That's me. Now niggas talk about the dresses. They dressing. You like 20 years late. So it may take you some time to get the kicking.
Laughing.
Laughing. Yo, this money ain't. Oh, that's me. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm a tracer. That, like, I'm sorry, Stab, but you go. I'll send you a song when it started, 2004.
I heard it.
Yeah, there you go. I did. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, man.
You know?
Yeah, thank you, man.
But I might start using twitching. I don't know. We'll see.
Yo, be the first nigga. Trying to see you to do it, yo. I mean, y'all twitching tonight? Or let's twitch it out. They kicking? Yeah, let's kick it.
It only works because you're cool. Because if you weren't, I'd be like, I don't want to use twitching.
Yeah, but the whole thing is, right, I may not be cool to the nerds.
You are.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, some people be like, yo, you're not cool.
No, but exactly that. Like, it's the thing. There's some people that say stuff that's cool, and then there's some people that say stuff that don't.
Yeah. Well,
like
maybe
my dad, like, he says young cats. I hate that. But, like, that's how he talks. Like, what is a young cat? But if somebody else said it, not that my dad's not cool. Yeah. Again, that's my dog. I'm like, no, I'm not using it.
Ain't no wrong with these young cats a little older than me.
I hate
That's right
that.
Is that because he's telling you the cat's age?
No, he just be like, I don't know these young cats. I don't know these cats. I'm like, why do you keep saying that? Because they're cats. What do you want me to say? They're younger than me. I'm like, all right.
That's pretty. That's all right.
No, it's not.
He's right.
Shout out Papa Dad.
I think I missed the cats. I'm right after the cats. I know these young cats.
Jive
turkeys.
Yeah.
See, that one, I don't know about that one. But yes, back to Dean the Great and AB. Adrien Broner has now become verified on Kick, which actually allows him to earn money on his own platform. Maurice, how do you feel about this collaboration?
Yeah, you know, obviously I got mixed feelings. I'm still a homer. Some will say Ohio. But, you know, obviously, if you've seen some of the clips online, you see my man AB, you know, he's doing things that if you understand addiction and you understand somebody who's chasing a bottle like you just don't agree with. Don't nobody want to see they 3-time champion or just a human being, just consistently exploited on some level, drinking like that. So that's the homer me. I want to see our Ohio champion be, in a better place and space. But then also, I don't judge it because I struggle with drinking. I know how hard it is to stop drinking and quitting it and so on and so forth. And then you mix in that he's probably in survival mode, and survival being that, you probably need the money. And so more than anything, man, I tell you like this, when you go through this shit, like sometimes you need a break and AB at some point. Like, I don't know if you get people around them who can help to influence them, but sometimes you just need a break from society, a break from your responsibilities. And I just think that his life is so fast and he has so much responsibility that he can't take a break. And so then you put yourself in situations like this. But at the end of the day, man, I won't bend on this part. Like sometimes, liquor, I just had to find out that liquor, what's up?
That was crazy.
Bend over this part.
Bend over on this part was crazy.
Yeah. So nah.
It's been a week.
Well, I'll end it like this. I'll end it like this. Yes, so I'll pause that, right? So I'll end it like this. I just hope my man gets sober. That's it. If you don't hear nothing else from somebody who dealt with it before, from somebody that took a long time to get sober, I hope my man gets sober, he wake back up, and he revive his life, because I don't like to seem like that. I've been there before, just struggling. So, we want my man to get back on his feet. That's it.
Yeah, Zeke been through that shit too. Zeke took him on alcohol. Like, he's been clean probably 4 years, but he's a bad drunk, bad. Like, he goes on binges for months. It's really bad. I'm surprised I'm still speaking. It was a time where I'm like, I'm not going to speak to you no more. I try and threaten him. And he's like, yeah, right.
Like, dog.
Yeah, man. So that shit, like you said, man, that shit is really serious. But I didn't know if he's drinking or not, because I just see the clips, and I don't really watch the whole kick or the whole stream. And the clips I seen, I was like, hey, man, at least he's figuring a way out to get some money. I shout out to the kid, Dean the Great.
Yeah.
Shout out to him, because it seemed like he figured out streaming. Like, he takes chances. I see him get punched by wrestlers.
Yes,
and slapped and the boxing matches and shit. I'm not saying no speed or nothing, but he takes a lot of physical chances out there in the streets. But for him to figure out, maybe AB could be a good co-host to what I'm doing. I don't know how good he was doing by himself, but it seems like every comment I read on that, you're like, oh, these two need a show. These two are funny. This is the combo I didn't think I needed. I didn't know I needed. So if it's a way for him to make some money, cool. I didn't know the alcohol part. I just, like I said, I only see the clips on social media. I haven't watched the whole stream. So if he could figure it out without doing alcohol and still be as funny as he is, I'd support it. He was actually in the gym, one of the clips I seen, teaching niggas how to box still. You know what I'm saying? He was showing a clip and how to slip the jab and moving around. And I'm like, look, if he's not gonna box, let's try to figure this out on how he can make some money. Because Dean also helped that dude Rampage, right? If I'm not mistaken. The Rampage Jackson, right? Mm-hmm. So it seems like that kid Dean has figured it out. And not only that, figured out other athletes that may have not have figured out what to do after their career, how to make some money. So I give the kid Dean a lot of credit. If AB could still do it without getting drunk, fine, because as much as you're right, Mo, I do agree with you. I want to see AB get another fight, but it doesn't look like he's going to get in fight shape, and it's going to take a lot to even get a fight that he may feel be up to his standard, because you're not just going to get back in there with a top contender. Even though he's really good, I think when AB's in shape, he's good, and not only that, he knows how to sell a fight. But at this point right now, I don't even know what weight he would fight in. Can he still make 147 or 140? He was really good at 140. Is he good enough to go up to 154? I don't know. It's too many questions boxing-wise. When he say, fuck it, I can make some money doing this. I'm not disagreeing with you, Ma. I would love to see him back in the ring. But if he's not going to be back in the ring, I at least like to see him be funny and make some money instead of just being drunk without making money. So leave the alcohol alone. Try and be funny. And salute to the guy, Dean, man, for helping him get his shit together. And not only him, other athletes that he's helping out as well.
Yeah, I'm all for people turning their life around, obviously the only time I've met AB was literally the show. So it seems like things are changing in a positive direction for him. And then on the flip side, I give a lot of credit to Dean, because a lot of people probably don't know Dean's from Tampa. So like me and Dean like go way back. I've known him before I did It Is What It Is, before he started doing the streaming and the boxing stuff. And it's so crazy because seeing people kind of come into their own and like become who they are, and him just being on his grind has been dope, because this is the stuff that we talked about. Like, we met at the gym. This is the stuff we talked about. We're like, I'm gonna go do this and you're gonna go do that, and it happened. We both were able to kind of follow our dreams, move across to the West Coast and be like doing our stuff. So shout out to him. And like, he does work really hard, and he actually does have a good heart, regardless of what people want to try to say or clicks or whatever. Like, it's content and people are watching it. So shout out to him for being able to make really a living out of it and keep killing it. So that's what I'll say to Dean, because yeah. Maurice, did you have one more comment before we wrap?
Yeah, no, it was just adding on to Cam's point. I think like I said a whole lot, but he just said it like in a concise way. AB got a personality, and so he's funny without all of the other stuff. And so in order to sustain that, you just have to be sober doing it. So that might be the cleanest way of saying what I was trying to say.
Cool. Okay, well, this was an all-around positive conversation, good discussion. Talked about a lot of things, but a lot of good things. In the comments down below, let us know what y'all think about all the people who've been turning their life around and the games that we spoke about earlier. But that is all the time that we have for today. Maurice, you know it's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Good seeing you, Mo. We appreciate you.
Yes.
Likewise.
Yo, before we go, can we celebrate a little bit? Can we pop some champagne for, you know, you've been doing your thing, man. You've been doing your. I know you ain't gonna drink it, but I'm just saying you've been doing your thing. Yeah, man. Listen, we gotta celebrate, man. You've been doing your thing. You on First Take, and then you've been on what was the other one? LeBron.
Rich
Come on, man, you killing the game. and his stat says something.
We got a long way to go.
Yeah, no, I know that. But Stat said something earlier. She said we all winning over here, and I thank you, because we all winning, and we all salute you, and we all. Man, listen, we were rooting this morning. I was rooting.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in my living room like, yeah.
Yes. It was like the Super Bowl.
So I just wanted to say thank you, man. Yeah, we root.
You know you my bro.
Yeah, nah. But we really, I think I speak for everybody, Nick, Till, everybody in there, man. Like, bro, you make it happen for a lot of people,
Yes.
man. It ain't just you. You really like I was thinking this morning, like, damn, this nigga's climbing, but he leaving rope for us to find it to climb up with us. You know what I'm saying? To climb up with him. So I appreciate you.
Nobody's good without a good team, bro.
Yeah,
but make sure everybody gets.
because there's a lot of niggas that don't want to help other people, Killer.
That's true, yeah.
And you definitely make sure that everybody around you is eating. If they fuck it up, It's on them. So
thank you.
We
bro.
all appreciate you over here. So we
Thank you
going
so much, man.
champagne to pop some. I know not now, but we got you.
Nah, we're saving for a good time, man. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You got it.
Cheers to
Yep,
you.
thank you, guys.
Let me say this. I'm gonna add on to this because I know I will forget another time. So it is a great feeling. I say this, and it's to add on to Larry, just to publicly say it. When people see me, all they do is smile and laugh, and they say, "Cam, Mace." That's all they'll say, and they smile. And just to have that interaction with people is built from something that y'all brought to the platform. So I'm echoing what Larry's saying. What I appreciate it publicly. You know, a lot of people talk shit, but I appreciate it. Ain't got no problem saluting you publicly, saying thank you, and I really mean it.
Thank you, guys. Like I said, I appreciate all of y'all. Like, it ain't just, I don't feel it's me. I feel it's us. So all of us are doing what we got to do to stay ahead and win and so on and so forth. But thank everybody, Larry, PT, Stat, Nick, Jory, Isaiah, Taylor, everybody who's a part of the show, Mace, of course, Trista, Rabia, Mike Irvin, RPOJ. So thank you guys, man. I really appreciate it.
Super, super dope. And I took notes. I will never buy Andre champagne again because y'all was looking at me. I was like, noted. So we learned new things. Okay, thank y'all for watching. And as always, it is what it is.
As this episode comes to an end, it is worth taking a closer look at everything that happened during the final part of the conversation. What began as a discussion about 2 new podcast projects quickly became something much more serious and personal. The conversation moved into difficult subjects like addiction, survival, grief, redemption, mental health, and the struggle to rebuild your life after reaching a very low point. Instead of simply talking about entertainment, The hosts opened the door to real stories about people who have faced painful situations and are still trying to find their way forward. One of the first major topics was the new podcast collaboration between Michael Beasley and Dante West, called Shut Up and Dribble. Dante West is a former NBA player who once had a successful basketball career, but in recent years, much of the public attention surrounding him has focused on his struggles with homelessness, drug addiction, and serious mental health challenges. Videos of him struggling in public have circulated widely online, and those images have often been treated as entertainment or social media content. However, behind every video is a real person dealing with problems that most people can barely imagine. That raised an important question about whether a podcast featuring Dante West and Michael Beasley could actually work. Maurice had an interesting perspective. His first thought was that the show could be extremely entertaining. Michael Beasley has always been known as someone who speaks his mind without worrying too much about how people will react. He does not appear interested in carefully prepared public relations statements or pretending to be someone he is not. His personality is direct, unpredictable, funny, and completely unfiltered. That kind of honesty can connect with people because it feels natural. Maurice compared the experience to sitting around with people who simply tell stories about their lives without trying to make everything sound perfect. There is no polished image and no carefully planned presentation. It is just people talking openly about what they have experienced. But Maurice also believed there could be something much more meaningful happening for Dante. The podcast might not only be a source of entertainment, it could also become a form of therapy. Sometimes people find it difficult to talk honestly with the people closest to them. Family members and longtime friends may know who you used to be, and may have certain expectations about who you should become. Admitting that you have reached a painful place in life can be incredibly difficult when you feel that everyone around you already has an image of you in their mind. Talking to someone who has experienced his own struggles can be different. When two people understand chaos, failure, addiction, pressure, and personal pain, there may be less fear of being judged. That can make it easier to lower your guard and finally say things that have been kept inside for years. The conversation also brought up a comparison to something Cam Newton once said about modellerie and his music. The idea was that creative work does not always have to be about money, fame, or pleasing an audience. Sometimes expressing yourself can simply be a way of healing. The platform may not be the most important part. The act of speaking, creating, and getting emotions out can be valuable on its own. If Dante can use this podcast as a place to talk through some of what he has experienced, then the project could have meaning even if it never becomes a huge commercial success. The number of views or followers would not necessarily determine its value. The discussion then returned to Michael Beasley and a powerful interview he once gave to Shannon Sharpe. During that conversation, Beasley became emotional and broke down while speaking about the deaths of people close to him. Some people had previously looked at certain moments in his basketball career and assumed he was simply being difficult, careless, or unpredictable. One famous incident involving the wrong shorts, for example, was interpreted by many as another example of his unusual behavior. But there was another side to the story. Beasley was grieving. He was dealing with pain that he did not necessarily know how to express. Sometimes people carry so much emotion that it eventually comes out in unexpected ways. What looks like strange behavior from the outside can sometimes be connected to something much deeper happening internally. Interestingly, Beasley eventually opened up about those feelings on national television, while speaking to someone who was not part of his everyday life. That shows how powerful a safe conversation can be. Sometimes it is easier to tell a stranger the truth, because there is less fear of disappointing them or changing the way they see you. The host then shared a personal story about a close female friend who appeared completely normal and functional from the outside. She was someone you might never suspect was dealing with addiction. However, she was a recovering crack addict who had stopped using and was attending Narcotics Anonymous meetings. The host became curious about what those meetings were actually like and asked if he could attend one. He expected it to be an interesting experience, but he was not prepared for the level of honesty he encountered. He described hearing people talk about the things they had experienced and the situations they had survived. The stories were so intense that they made the darkest scenes from movies seem mild by comparison. He only stayed for a short time before leaving. His friend, however, remained because those meetings were part of her recovery and had become an important source of support. For her, it was not something she could simply walk away from. It was part of the process that was helping her stay sober and continue rebuilding her life. That story connected directly back to Dante West. The public has seen pieces of his struggles through social media, but those clips do not tell the entire story. People have seen the homelessness, the unusual behavior, and the difficult moments, but they may not know what happened before all of that. They may not understand what Dante experienced privately, or how deeply his problems affected him. As the host suggested, the full story could be far darker than anything the public has seen. The question is whether an audience is prepared to listen to that story without turning someone's pain into another form of entertainment. The final major subject was the streaming partnership involving former world champion boxer Adrien Broner and content creator Dean the Great on Kick. This part of the conversation carried a different kind of tension because Broner's career represents both incredible talent and serious personal struggles. Adrien Broner became a 3-time world champion and was once considered one of the most talented boxers of his generation. At his peak, people even compared his skills and personality to Floyd Mayweather. He had enormous potential and appeared capable of becoming one of boxing's biggest stars. That makes his recent struggles especially difficult for fans to watch. Clips appearing online have led many people to question whether Broner is in a healthy place right now. Maurice admitted that he could not easily judge Broner because he understood what it was like to struggle with alcohol himself. When you have experienced your own battles, it can become much harder to look at another person and simply criticize them. At the same time, there was clearly disappointment and sadness because Maurice knows what Broner is capable of achieving. He knows how talented the boxer is and understands the potential that was always there. Sometimes survival does not look like success. A person can be fighting simply to make it through another day, even when the outside world expects them to perform, win, and live up to their full potential. That was ultimately one of the strongest ideas running through this entire conversation. The discussion was never really just about podcasts, boxing, or streaming. It was about people who have struggled, people who have lost their way, and people who are still trying to find a path back. Behind public mistakes, viral clips, controversial moments, and broken careers, there are often human beings dealing with pain that the audience cannot see. And perhaps that is what made this final stretch of the conversation so powerful. It reminded everyone that redemption is rarely simple, recovery is rarely easy, and survival does not always look impressive from the outside. Sometimes the first step is simply having a place where you can finally speak honestly about what you have been through. Maurice made an important point that people often overlook when talking about addiction and personal struggles. Sometimes, people who are already living in chaos do not have the chance to stop and deal with what is hurting them. Life keeps moving, even when they are falling apart. Bills still have to be paid, families may still depend on them, and there are always expectations, responsibilities, and financial pressures waiting around the corner. Debt does not disappear because someone is struggling. The demands of everyday life continue, and that can make it almost impossible for a person to slow down and focus on getting better. Because of that pressure, people often keep going even when they know something is wrong. They continue working, performing, showing up, and pretending that everything is under control. At the same time, they may depend more heavily on whatever helps them escape the stress. For some people, that coping mechanism is alcohol. The faster their lives become, the harder it can be to step away and face the real problem. What may have started as a way to relax or escape can eventually become something they cannot control. That brought the conversation back to Adrien Broner and his future. Both hosts were realistic about the situation. If Broner is not going to return to professional boxing, especially considering his current weight, conditioning, and the uncertainty about what weight class he could realistically compete in, then there is another question worth asking. Would it be better for him to earn money through something like streaming than to have no income while continuing to struggle with alcohol? It may not be the perfect solution, but having work can still give someone structure and a reason to get up and show up somewhere. Earning money, staying active, and having people around you can sometimes provide a sense of purpose. It does not solve everything, but it can be better than having nothing at all. The conversation then shifted toward Dean the Great, and both hosts gave him a lot of credit for what he has built. Dean understood how streaming works, how to connect with an audience, and how to turn big personalities into compelling content. More importantly, he recognized that former athletes often have a difficult time adjusting after their playing careers end. They may still have a huge personality and plenty of stories to tell, but they do not always know what comes next. Dean found a way to create opportunities around that reality. He previously brought former fighter Rampage Jackson into the streaming world, and now he has created another partnership involving Adrien Broner. Dean has also been willing to put himself in uncomfortable situations for his content. He has taken punches, accepted slaps, attended boxing events, and put himself directly into the action. Those risks helped him build something that became much bigger than a few viral clips. One of the hosts explained that he knew Dean before any of this success happened. They first met at a gym and talked about their dreams and what they wanted to accomplish. At the time, those conversations were simply ideas. Eventually, both of them traveled, worked hard, and turned those dreams into real careers. That is why Dean's success means more than simply becoming popular online. He created a path for himself, but he has also helped create opportunities for other athletes who are finished with professional sports and are unsure about what their next chapter should look like. The sports world does not always provide enough support for athletes after retirement. Dean is helping fill that gap in his own way. As for Broner, the hosts agreed that he still has plenty to offer. He is naturally funny, has a huge personality, and knows how to control a room. He can hold the attention of an audience and understands how to entertain people. If he can bring that same energy to the camera without alcohol controlling his life, there is a real possibility that he could build a successful second career. But the biggest challenge comes first, getting sober. Without dealing with that issue, everything else becomes much harder. Talent, personality, fame, and opportunities can only take someone so far if their personal life is falling apart. Then, instead of ending with a normal summary or a typical call to action, the episode took an unexpected turn. One of the hosts used the final moments to express genuine gratitude for everything the show and its team had built together. He specifically recognized the people working behind the scenes and acknowledged that a successful platform does not happen because of one person alone. The message was especially powerful because he praised people who do more than simply succeed for themselves. Some people climb the ladder and then pull it away behind them. Others climb while leaving a rope for everyone else to use. That kind of leadership is rare. It means bringing other people along instead of keeping every opportunity for yourself. Maurice ended the conversation on a similar note. He explained that when he goes places now, people often smile when they recognize him. They see him and immediately connect him with the show and the platform. That reaction is something the entire team helped create together. He was not too proud to say thank you. He openly gave credit to the people around him and showed appreciation for the work they had done. His words felt genuine because he was not simply praising himself. He was recognizing the people who helped build something meaningful. In the end, this segment was about much more than sports. It was about what happens after the lights go out, the uniform comes off, and the crowd goes home. What happens when the career ends and a person is left alone with everything they have been carrying? Some people discover podcasts. Others find streaming. Some finally find sobriety after years of struggling. And some are still searching for their way forward. The common thread is simple. People are trying to figure out how to keep going. Life does not always provide an easy answer, and recovery rarely happens overnight. Sometimes, however, the first step is simply being honest about what is happening. Talking about the pain without hiding it, pretending, or making excuses can be the beginning of something better. That is what made this conversation so meaningful. It was raw, honest, and unfiltered. Beneath all the sports talk and entertainment was a much more human message. Everyone has struggles that other people may not see, and sometimes finding the courage to talk about them is where the journey toward change begins.